Hello, Sanford, and welcome to the Howler here on the Sanford Sports Radio. I am your host, Jonathan West, and man, is it a somber mood here around the Coyotes this week. Not only because of the tough loss taken last week at the hands of the Bowling Green State Falcons, but some other issues that we'll get into later in this show. Let's start, though, with what is, well, supposed to be, by all indications of the weather this week, a very winter wonderland in Maine, as the NIU Huskies will come to Sanford this week in what is bound to be a tough matchup, even without their starting quarterback. So it's looking like a tough bounce-back situation. Luckily, the coaching staff has not lost faith in this team, and that's something I think that needed to be put out there. I think a lot of people believe that this team had lost entire faith, the coaching staff had lost entire faith in this team following what happened last week, but that's not the case. Drew Martin still believes this offense can put up big numbers easily. Mark Riley believes this defense has a lot to show, and Coach Wolf specifically believes that Anderson can lead them to more victories. Now, is that going to happen? I can't be sure about that. What I can be sure about is the big disappointment that has been running wild over the coaching staff and the recruiters here at Sanford, is Cameron Wilson, who has now put Iowa and Illinois ahead of Sanford. He visited Iowa, and that dropped Sanford very, very quickly. Flash Gibson, of course, did the same. He visited Air Force, and that actually dropped Sanford on his board as well. Hopefully a couple wins will get them back in the positive with those two. But Robert Thomas, a big receiver, has now been added to the board. He's 6'4", 205, another big receiver if they can't get Cameron Wilson. They are still trying to get in talks with Wilson to keep his interest here. Right now, I don't know how that's going to go. When it rains, it pours here in Sanford, apparently, as we take a big loss, and then the recruits begin to back up what they've been saying for the past 10 weeks of the season. It's gotten to a very tough point here. Luckily, Patrick Johnson, a young receiver, is still looking the way of Sanford. Sam Buckley, the same. Dan Cox has kind of been a passerby glance here for the recruiters. They aren't taking an interest in them as much as some thought they might. But it's tough. It's tough. Even to do the show this week, it's tough. After what we saw last week, and after what's gone on what's happened throughout the week so far, we don't even know what's going to go on this Saturday during the game. We don't know how the snow's going to affect the ball game. We don't know how anything's going to affect this ball game, if the team's even in the right mindset. One thing I can be sure of is they did make one big change during practice, and I think this is a huge help to this team. Stephen Young, of course, the corner who led up the touchdown by Bowling Green last week in the last minutes of the game. He has been demoted down the depth chart to number 4 on the cornerback depth chart. Chris Wood, of course, played in the nickel slot, or in the nickel spot for most of the season, has 2 interceptions on the season, will now be taking over that side of the field alongside Richard Cruz. So, hopefully that will allow for this secondary to maybe be deadlier than they were. But that's a small change. Hopefully it has a big impact on this week's game. And I'm not talking just in getting interceptions. I'm talking just keeping players from making big plays. We're closing in on Senior Day, and from all accounts, what originally was going to be a Senior Day special is going to happen this week. Is from what I've been hearing from Coach Wolf, he is going to bring out the all blue attire for this week's game. He was going to save it for the Senior Day game. but he has decided, since a huge disappointing loss last week, he wanted to bring spirits up, unveiled the all blue gear earlier today. It's at least a nice thing to see that we're going to get some new unis. We're going to see the all blues that have been talked about this season. And at least that's a positive coming from this week. There haven't been a lot to talk about in the way of positives, especially with how last week's game went, how the recruiting trail is gone during the week now. The only good part with the recruiting trail is the fact that Cameron Wilson is, at least at this part, willing to talk, and there have been rumors from what I've heard from people that I know saying that he may not be talking to Sanford much longer. But I will see you folks Saturday, where hopefully a much better outcome will take place as Sanford hosts the NIU Huskies. You've been listening to Sanford Sports Radio and The Howler. I'm Jonathan West, and I will see you folks this Saturday. Hello, Sanford! You are listening to Sanford Sports Radio, and it is snowing like crazy out here today. I'm up here in the press box. I'm Jonathan West, here calling the game as the Sanford College Coyotes look to hashtag defend the den here in Sanford against the Northern Illinois University Huskies. It is snowing like a madman out here. You can see the flakes coming down like crazy if you're, of course, watching on television and you're not listening to this great commentary, but it is insane out here, and this weather's going to have a big impact, I'm sure, on the way this game is played. Northern Illinois, though, has been a rushing attack all season, so it more than likely won't hinder them much from what they're used to doing. Sanford, on the other end, they've been much more powerful in their passing attack than their running attack. They may have to try and change things up, but if they can at least find some way to roll with that passing attack and get something going their way, maybe, just maybe, this weather won't have a big issue to be found. We're about ready to get underway. They're lining up for the kickoff here as we are off. Sammy Carter kicks it away here as Sanford will get the ball after the half as they deferred. And Turner bounces off a number of Coyotes, able to get up to the 31-yarder. That was Otis Griffin that took him down, the backup middle linebacker. The man to watch here for the Huskies is, of course, their running back. And we'll see more of him, I'm sure, as this day goes on, as that is Ryan Graham who takes off for a 2-yard gain on the first play of the day. 2nd and 8 now, and the shotgun is a no-huddle offense. Once again going to take its toll on this defense, but that pass is far off the mark behind his intended target. That's no good, bringing up a 3rd and 8. As Graham going to take the snap out of shotgun on 3rd and 8. He's taken off quickly, and he's got a first down and more just about at midfield. That's 16 yards. Continuing this no-huddle offense, it is 1st and 10. Boyagan gets the gain for only 1 yard there, so nothing much going. At 2nd and 9 now, Graham looking to throw. No, he takes off, and he can't find much. Only 4 yards on that one. As 3rd and 5 now, Graham looks to throw. He throws incomplete, and that is the biggest positive this team could have hoped for, as that is enormous for them. Punting away is NIU. As 1st and 10 here for Sanford. They go Lee Mayfield, the senior. He can't find much room at all. 2nd and 13 now is Anderson. Looks to throw. He hooks up with Fellows, but Fellows can't haul it in. That's been an issue all season, is Fellows not being able to hold on to the football. 3rd and 13. He's looking Fellows' way again, or I'm sorry, that's Tremaine Dingle, and he had a foot in bounds. He just couldn't haul it in. So 2 drops right off the bat here early on. As 1st and 10, the handoff for NIU goes to Boagan, and that's going to be a gain of nothing as they go quickly to the no huddle. 2nd and 10. as the handoff goes back to Bohagan. And that's going to be a gain of 6 there. 3rd and 4 now as this defense is ready to attack. Is Graham looking to run, but he got held up. He goes down, sacked. And that was Shane Townsend who's going to get credit for it. That's number 8 on the season. As Anderson to throw here. He wanted Harrison Frazier. As that is incomplete, falls just out of reach of Harrison. As Anderson to throw again on 2nd down here. He can't find an open man, and he throws that one away. 0 for 4 to begin. This is not how we thought this would start. The weather has played an impact, that's for sure. But this has been a lot of just issues going on with this offense, as finally a pass is completed on 3rd and 10. 24 yards to tight end Sean Merritt. Big play there from Anderson to Merritt. He's been a big player in this offense all season long, as they showed the replay here in the stadium, and the fans just went crazy. As they go back to the ground now on 1st and 10. It's a 6-yard run there for Lee Mayfield. 2nd and 4 now is Anderson going to hand off to McTaggart, and McTaggart finds room. A gain of 8, and I'll say it once again, I've said it all season. Since he's taken this minor role, he has been so much more effective. As look at Lee Mayfield, 18 yards. As Mayfield just powered over one defender, and that's what led to the huge gain. As they're now down at the 3-yard line, handoff goes to Timmy Shelby. We don't see him often in the ball game, as he loses 3 on that run. 2nd and goal now in the strong eye, as Anderson going to drop back here. He wanted Mike Ashley, but that one is intercepted. The defender was right in front of Mike Ashley as that ball got there, and it was his for the taking. So it's 1st and 10 after a big interception by NIU. Luckily, this defense not going to give up, as that was Lamar Poland who got the big tackle there on Bohagan. As the option for Ryan Graham, he'll take off for a gain of 6 or 7. As it's 3rd and 3, no huddle continues for NIU, and they bring the pressure, and that's thrown away. Ryan Graham is 0 for 3 today so far. As 1st and 10 now for Sanford after the Husky punt. Lee Mayfield not going anywhere on that run. 2nd and 10 now under center is Anderson, as he's going play action. Trying to hook up with Mike Ashley, but Ashley can't hang on. That one was batted out of his hands, though, more so than I think it dropped. As 3rd and 10, Anderson to throw. He uses all the time he's got and throws that into the hands of Embry. As Embry gets the interception, he was looking for Fellows, of course, the number 1 target to go to, as Dingle was opening up around that area. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Tremaine Dingle was his main target, but nonetheless, it's an interception for Embry, and NIU takes back over. As Bohagan back on the ground, and he gets some blocks as he's up past the 30, near the 20, past the 20 to the 19-yard line of Sanford, as they're going to go to that no huddle. 1st and 10 here, as the handoff goes to Bohagan again, and that's going to be only a gain of 2. As less than a minute remains here in the first quarter of play, and NIU looks like they're going to strike first here as they go back to the ground game. Bohagan dropped again. That's Shane Townsend that brought him down. 3rd and 6. Graham to throw. He's taken off, though, and he is dragged down, but not till he gets a first down. It's 1st and goal from the 4. As the play coming in from the sideline for NIU. Graham taking it on the option. He keeps it into the end zone. He goes. 5-yard touchdown run for Ryan Graham. NIU draws first blood here in Sanford as the Huskies have scored. 13 seconds left in the first quarter, and the first score of the day is made as it's 7-0 NIU over Sanford, as Mayfield gets the handoff here on first down, and that 1-yard gain from Mayfield will take us to the end of the first, as it's 7-0. The Huskies of Northern Illinois are up early. You're listening to the Sanford Sports Radio. I'm Jonathan West, and we'll be back with more after this. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sanford Sports Radio. I am Jonathan West, and it's 7-0 NIU on top as 2nd and 9. It's a drop by Herb Fellows, as that's his second drop of the day already. 3rd and 9 now as Anderson's got to find a target. He finds Fellows, and he doesn't drop that one. 17 yards for Herb. 1st and 10 now from midfield. Mayfield gets the handoff, and that's going to be a solid carry of 7 as Mayfield looking to get some positive yardage here now. 2nd and 3 as they keep the ball on the ground. McTaggart finds yards. That's another 8-yard carry. Once again, solid amount of work in a short amount of snaps. 1st and 10 now here as they go to the option for Anderson as the big man takes off, and that's a 10-yard gain. He may not be the fastest man on the field. Now he's shown he's willing to run these past couple weeks. As 1st and 10 handoff goes to Antoine Bradford here for a gain of 3, utilizing the fullback more and more as time has gone on. 2nd and 7 now as Anderson to throw. He connects with Sean Merritt on the short play there. He did have an open man over the middle, and I'm surprised he didn't go after him. I believe it was Tremaine Dingle. 3rd and 5 here as Anderson looks to throw. They need the first as Ashley can't hang on. It's batted away from him. Well, more so hit as he dropped it, and he was still down on the ground. As 1st and 10 for Graham, pitches off to Boagan, and Boagan able to gain 6. 2nd and 4 here, shotgun formation as the no huddle has continued. Northern Illinois looking to make something happen. So I'm not sure if I brought it up, folks, but Sanford was able to kick a field goal from Tracy Weaver. So it is 7-3. As 3rd and inches now. Graham on the option. He's fighting, and he fights away from Elliott Flowers. He's got room in front of him to the 20. 10 brought down at the 10 by Leslie Ingram. Big 47-yard run from Ryan Graham as it's 1st and goal here for Northern Illinois. As out of the pistol, handoff goes to Boagan, and he fights his way into the end zone, 9 yards. And that is another touchdown for the Huskies as it's about to be a 14-3 ball game. This is the last thing that Sanford needed. They did not need to allow the Huskies to get off to a 2-possession lead. As Anderson to throw on 1st and 10, and that one's intercepted. I think that one got a little bit away from him as that is picked off by Mays. He was the only man in the area at the time. Tremaine Dingle was turning in. I believe that one may have gotten away from Anderson as he was looking more towards the outside, and it came more towards the inside. So 1st and 10 now for NIU as they're right back on the offensive side of things. This defense has to be exhausted. 2nd and 3 as the no huddle continues here. NIU looking to run. No, it's a play action, and wide open was Huff. This defense did not expect a pass in this situation. 22 yards on the first completion of the day for Ryan Graham. 1st and goal handoff goes to Huff as Huff gains 3. And he is down, and he looks hurt. So there goes Ryan Huff, maybe for the day as Boagan checks back in. 2nd and goal as Graham takes off on the option. He's dropped down Leslie Ingram. The senior safety not letting him go. As 3rd and goal here. They had a nice goal line stop last week at Bowling Green. Can they get another one here? As Graham pitches it out to Bohagan, and he is in the end zone. As that is touchdown number 3 on the ground for NIU. And this is tough to watch now. 2 touchdowns for Bohagan, 1 for Ryan Graham. 21-3, 2.5 remains until the half. As Ryan Anderson is dragged down as there was no one to go to there. Liddell Fleming, the man that brought him down. That's a huge loss. 2nd and 22. Anderson throws. Tries to connect with Merritt, but he can't hang on. Another drop. This snow is having a huge effect on the Sanford receivers. As Anderson going deep. But it's intercepted. Brooks with the pick. And that just shows how much the arm strength is a weakness to Dante Anderson. He has a solid arm, but it's not a cannon. He can't get it deep down the field that easily. And that right there is the perfect example of it. 1st and 10 is Graham to throw again. And he finds a screen, but brought down by Lamar Poland. There's a good play by the big defensive tackle. As it's 2nd and 12 now for NIU as they're setting up another screen. As Elliott Flowers got there first, but he was able to maneuver around and finally brought down after a gain of 4. 3rd and 8 here. Pistol formation from this no-huddle offense. And Graham looking to throw. Going deep. And that batted away. It's intercepted by McPherson. I'm not sure if it had touched the white turf or not, but nonetheless, that's a very big interception for Dante McPherson. As they're showing the replay here in the stadium. And the fans are going crazy. The refs don't seem to be making any calls here. And it stands. As Anderson to throw here. He connects with Fellows, 14 yards for the completion. As that is a big gain here as they try and make a pretty much 1-minute drive here. Anderson to throw to the sideline again. It's Fellows, 2 in a row, 19 yards this time. The number 1 receiver finally opening up like a number 1 receiver. And maybe, just maybe, this team can finally find some offensive momentum. 59 seconds remain here in the half. Anderson to throw. He hooks up with Merritt. That's a short gain of 1. He's out of bounds though, so it will stop the clock. 2nd and 9. As Anderson, play action. He overthrows his intended target. It was Mark Dockery, but that's a good thing because he was well covered. It's 3rd and 9 now. This may be the last opportunity to possibly get a first down as somehow Harrison Frazier hangs on to that. He somehow was able to make that grab in the middle of the field with a corner all over him. Good play, Frazier. As 1st and 10, hook up with Herb Fellows. He doesn't drop that one on the slant. 16 yards as this offense looks to keep going. They're now running the no huddle. As 1st and goal, looking for the slant again, and Fellows drops this one. Right when I brought up no drop for him from the last play, he drops that one. As 2nd and goal, handoff goes to Mayfield. As no timeout taken here. No, there it is. Finally, the 3rd timeout is taken by Sanford. The pitch here on 3rd and goal. McTaggart in the end zone. Touchdown, Coyotes. It's now back to a 2-possession ball game. 21-10, 20 seconds remain here. NIU gonna try and throw a bit as Bohagan on the screen pass here. He gained something, almost makes it a lot more than it should have been, a gain of 7. 2nd and 3 now with 14 seconds left. Graham to throw, hooks up with Turner, but he can't hang on. Finally, the snow is affecting these NIU receivers. 3rd and 3. Graham to throw, setting up a screen for Bohagan again. And he finds room, but not enough, as he'll gain enough for the first, but not enough for a touchdown. As it's 1st and 10. They're going to send him deep. Graham chucks it up. And it's picked off. Dante McPherson. He's not going to get a great return, but hey, it's an interception to end the half. That's some momentum to go on as McPherson claims his second pick of the day. It's a great end to this half. It wasn't a good start to this half by any means, but a great end to this half as it's 21-10. Northern Illinois is up over Sanford, but Sanford has momentum now. You're listening to the Sanford Sports Radio. I'm Jonathan West, and we'll be back with the second half. Welcome back to the second half of play, everyone, as you are listening to the Sanford Sports Radio. I am Jonathan West, and that, folks, is a 12-yard run by Nigel McTaggart as he took it around that left side. He has been having a good day today as Anderson off the play action connects with Antoine Bradford on the short gain. That's going to be a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 now as Bradford, the man in motion here in the strong eye. They go play action as Anderson looking to throw. He connects with Sean Merritt on the sideline, and come on, refs, call the hit out of bounds, please. As it's a 15-yard gain from Merritt. That's a big play as they continue the play action as Harrison Frazier gets the gain, and that's going to be 20 yards as he just avoids a defender. 1st and 10, handoff goes to McTaggart, and he fights his way forward for a gain of 5. Good carry, McTaggart. He's had an extremely good game. On his short amount of carries as they give it right back to him on 2nd down, but that's a loss of 1 there. 3rd and 6 here as Anderson to throw, and that one is batted away. I'm not sure who that was intended for. I believe Herb Fellows. And nonetheless, they will settle for a Tracy Weaver field goal. It is up and good as it's now technically a one-possession game, 21-13. NIU back on offense, and they stick to their ground game as Boegan can't go anywhere on 1st down. 2nd and 10 here. Graham to throw. He's going to take off instead. This is where he works his best, and he gets enough for the first. Poland was the man that caught him from behind. That's going to be a gain of 15. The no-huddle continues here as it's 1st and 10 handoff for Boegan. And Boegan with a gain of 6. 2nd and 4 now as this no-huddle continues to weaken down the Sanford defense. And they brought the blitz, but it gets to Galladay, and that is a gain of 12. 1st and 10 here, continuing the no-huddle, or the Huskies. Boegan takes it on the draw, and you can see this defense, well, I can see at least this defense is exhausted. 2nd and 5, handoff, Boegan just once again attacking this exhausted defense. 3rd and inches upcoming after a gain of about 4 or 5. 3rd and inches and a 5-wide set for NIU. They take off with Graham. Graham fights out of a would-be tackle for a loss, and that's enough for the first. 1st and 10 here. Graham to throw. He gets hit right after he gets that one off, but it's a 9-yard gain for Parchment. 2nd and 1 now as NIU in striking distance here. Out of the 5-wide set, Graham goes down. There's a sack. That, though, is Jason Turner, the backup free safety. 3rd and 9 as Graham looks to set up the screen for... No, that's not Boegan. That's Jones in, and he's going to lose one. There we go. A good goal line stop, as that will make NIU settle for the field goal. 24-13 now. As Merritt with a big reception there for Sanford. I'm shocked he was able to catch that one. He's had a very solid day today. 1st and 10 now after the Merritt first down, and down goes Anderson. He is dropped for a loss of 10. That's Jalen Embry. 2nd and 10 now as Anderson throws, and he misses the mark on Mark Dockery. as that is 3rd and 20 now coming up. As play action here on 3rd and 20, and that one batted away, intended for Mark Dockery again. Michael Allen with the deflection there. As 1st and 10 goes back to NIU, and they get a 7-yard carry there for Joe Boagan. They're going to continue to run this clock, well, somewhat with the no-huddle offense and with the ground game as the option for Ryan Graham. He fights off one would-be tackler but takes a shot from Dante McPherson. That's going to lead to 3rd and inches as he didn't get enough for the first. 3rd and inches right at midfield, and Graham able to pitch it off to Boagan. A nice stiff arm from Boagan gets him enough for 15 and a big first down. He's already over 100 yards on the day as it's 1st and 10, and this quarter is about to come to a close as a tackle there on Graham as he's able to gain 4. That will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Northern Illinois is up 24 over Sanford 13. And you're listening to the Sanford Sports Radio. I'm Jonathan West, and we will have the final quarter of play just after this. Welcome back to the Sanford Sports Radio, everyone. I'm Jonathan West, your man on the call. It's 24-13. Sanford is down to the NIU Huskies. And it's the final quarter of play as Marcus Jones takes a big shot. He'll gain 2. Takes a big hit for his troubles. 3rd and 5 here now as NIU has a man in motion. Graham to throw. He goes down, and that might have taken him out of field goal range. The leader of this defense, Trey McLaughlin, with the sack. He came in unblocked and just laid a huge hit on Ryan Graham. 1st and 10 here for Sanford as NIU elected to punt and not try an extremely long field goal. They got a really good punt out of their punter, and it is a 4-yard reception on the screen for Nigel McTaggart. 2nd and 6 here is Anderson to throw. He looks to the sidelines. Tremaine Dingle with the catch. Good catch, kid. 18 yards and a first down. Anderson to throw again, and he won it. I believe that was Dingle. Indeed it was. Payton gets the interception, and he takes it back. That's a pick 6 for NIU. Fifth pick of the day for Dante Anderson. It's been a tough 2 weeks now for Dante Anderson. First it was, of course, last week with the Bowling Green game, where a lot of people have been saying it, and you can't argue with them, that Anderson threw that game away. One costly interception really was the cost of that game. But now, 5 interceptions here. It's a terrible situation here for Anderson. A 2nd and 10 here after an incompletion intended for Herb Fellows, but Harrison Frazier able to come away with a 13-yard reception there. He's having a very solid day. And replaced for Mike Ashley. As 1st and 10, Anderson looking for his man, checks down to Merritt, but Merritt can't hang on. Another drop. That is another big story of the day, is drop after drop after drop from these receivers. Anderson connects with Tremaine Dingle. That's going to be a 13-yard gain. First down as he's settling for those lower routes, not going for the deep ball as much. 1st and 10. Anderson connects with Harrison Frazier again. He's found a connection with him today. 8-yard gain. As 2nd and 2 here. Anderson out of the 5-wide set. He hooks up with Fellows on the short gain, but it'll be enough for the first gain of 5. 1st and 10. Anderson to throw. Out of the shotgun, but he connects with Jalen Embry. As Embry's going to take it, but brought down by Anderson. That's pick number 6. It's tough. It's tough to watch because Dante Anderson he's been kind of the lifeblood of this offense since stepping foot in the starting position. It's tough to watch him do this because he's really brought something to this team that's different, as I gain a 3 here for Joe Bowagan of NIU. But it's tough to watch him have this bad of a performance. As Bowagan with the carry here on 2nd and 7. It's a gain of 13, and NIU just showing what they do best, running this football down their opponent's throat and really wearing them down with that no-huddle offense. As down goes Bowagan, though, for a loss of 2. Tremaine Dodd brings him down. 2nd and 12 now. As the handoff goes to Marcus Jones, he's brought down quickly. That's Trent Townsend. He had a good showing last week, but nonetheless, couldn't come away with the W. As Bowagan takes off, he's brought down again by Trent Townsend. As that is another nice stop by Townsend, as that'll bring up another NIU field goal. As Coach Wolf, I think, is kind of foregone taking timeouts at this point. I think he's lost faith in this team, at least this week. It's his first coaching job as the missed field goal there by NIU. And look at this. Parker Dillon has been brought in the game in relief of Dante Anderson. I think it's solely for the fact that you don't want Anderson's confidence to go down any further, as Dillon was brought down for the sack. 2nd and 21. Check down goes to Mayfield. Gain of 6 on that one. 3rd and 15 as they're setting up a screen for McTaggart, and he goes nowhere but back. A loss of 5. Man, it's a tough pill to swallow today as they punt it away to NIU, and they're looking just to get some yardage to kill this clock. As Bowagan with the first down, and that will seal this game. As it's tough, folks. Especially to take a loss like this at home. And to play like this at home, wearing your all blues. You were excited to wear them. All the kids were hyped as Graham with the dagger there, an 11-yard option run. It's another tough pill to take. I don't know what else to say at this point. Bowagan had a hell of a showing, and this offense didn't play the way we knew they could play. 6 interceptions by Dante Anderson. A ton of drops. That was a key factor in that first drive. But you gotta wonder how they can find momentum. Next week is a bye week. They get a week to take off. Maybe it comes at the best time, probably. They get a week to forget about these past 2 weeks, and they can look on to week 13 for Senior Day, final home game of the year. And I hope that they can look to week 13 and they can just think to themselves, do this for the seniors. The guys who aren't seniors, go out there and play for Leslie Ingram, Mike Ashley, Trent Townsend. Play for those guys. Play for those guys that aren't going to be here next year. Just get the W for them. Thank you, folks, for listening. I've been your man on the call, Jonathan West, for the Sanford Sports Radio. It's another tough one to take. We will see you not next week with a bye week, but in week 13 when it is Senior Day and we bid farewell to the seniors of Sanford.